Good morning, sir.
Morning, madam. Ma'am, ಇವರಿಗೆ ನಾನು ಕ್ವಿಜ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ.
ಸರಿ ಸರ್.
ಯಾವಾಗ ಕೊಡೋಣ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಕ್ವಿಜ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಕೊಡೋಣ?
ಅದೇ ಸರ್ ಇಂಟರ್ನಲ್ಸ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಫುಲ್ ಇಂಟರ್ನಲ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲ?
ಹೌದು.
ಏನು ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ
ಕ್ವಿಜ್ ಬರೀ ಗೂಗಲ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ.
ಸರ್. ಇದು in the last class, and the next one, how IoT and digitalization plays a dual role, and what's the key difference between IoT and digitalization? As I already told you, IoT is just connecting the objects over the network and exchanging the data. And what is digitalization? They actually maintain the data which has been exchanged between the objects which is connected over the network. I gave you the Wi-Fi examples in the shopping mall, and how the digitalization evolved over the era, how the photographic and video photos, we saw how the evolution have made over digitalization. We have already seen an IoT impact over years, how people started using IoT, and how people have IoT connected now in the real-time world. We have already saw it. And a very important thing in this module is the three important topics. One is connected roadways. Second one, it is connected building. And the one more one is connected factory. So in these three questions, I already told you they're going to ask you. So just I'll brief you about the connected roadways, connected factory, and today we'll learn the connected buildings. Okay, just 2 to 3 lines. I'll just make it in brief. People who didn't attend the last class will come to know. The connected roadways, it's simple. The name itself specifies that over the roadways, we are going to connect the Internet of Things. And we saw how the Google introduced the self-driving car with the driver and without driver, and how it provide a reliable communication between the vehicles. We also saw that how the data are being exchanged, how cars talk to each other. So it is all about the sensors which is being connected inside the car and outside the cars. I also gave you an example how the sensors are connected inside and the outside cars, which is very important. Some of the sensors I told you to maintain the oil, temperature, pressure, everything inside and the outside cars. So there are thousands of sensors being controlled in this self-driving car, which actually provides the data between the cars which has been connected over the roadways. And we also saw what are the major challenges that the connected roadways face. Okay, one is safety, which I already explained how safety plays a major role when it comes to transportation. And then mobility, how the IoT is supporting the mobility. And then comes the environmental issues, due to connected roadways, how the environmental support is being provided by these connected roadways. Okay, and then we spoke about the intersection movement assist, which is a very important topic, which they try to ask if they ask you about the connected roadways, how the intersection vehicles, the IoT plays a major role. I give you an example, right? There's a four-way interconnection. All four cars come together, who would be given priority so that they move in the intersection without facing the accidents. Okay, so that we spoke. Then comes about the connected factory. Very important topic, people. Last year they asked about the connected roadways. So this time you can expect the connected factory. This connected factory is again a very simple way. Connected factory. Connected means Internet of Things. How the factories are embedded with the Internet of Things. The firstly is the connected factory. We have to compare with the traditional factories and our IoT enabled factories. So we spoke a lot about the factories which has been enabled by IoT. And what are the challenges that they are facing when they are connected over the factory? Because when it comes to factory, it's all about the quality assurance. And what are the challenges that the factory environment is dealing with? So I told you how the new products are evolved, how they are meeting the customer needs, how they are going to increase the production, and how they are maintaining the wastage. Very important thing, how they maintain the cyber threat, cabling and recabling costs, and how they try to improve the safety. So all put together forms our connected factory. And how IoT is providing a solution to the connected factory. So when you are trying to embed our IoT things into it, how they are trying to improve the quality of the production, or how they are actually making the profit over the connected factory. That is what we learned in the previous class. It all spoke about, I gave you a few examples, and next we saw how the industrial evolution happened. So from the bottom line, you can see in the 18th century how the factories, I'm speaking about the traditional factory. In the 18th century, how the factory started using a power stream over the machines and started protecting the products. And then came the second version of industry, where electricity played a major role. In the third version, where the electronics and information technology plays the major role. And now we have the fourth version, which has the IoT enabled factory. So this is all about that we spoke in the last class. And the next important topic is smart connected buildings. So you can expect any one of these three questions for sure in the choice of module 1 and 2. So either you will get smart buildings, or connected transport, or connected factory, or any two also you will get, because the first option question will be this. So please listen to it. It's very simple. It's just that you learn the diagram, and the rest, whatever I'm telling, it will be very useful for you people. So let's talk about the connected smart building. So connected, I told you already. Connected means connecting all the objects with the people over the network. So when we are connecting, what are we connecting? All the objects means sensors which are connected to the building, and how we provide the most comfortable environment for the person who are there in the building. Building doesn't mean that the place we live. The building can be anything in the what you call the IoT enabled buildings. Okay, it can be an office also. It cannot be a factory where they produce. It can be an office building where actually the main what you call the operation of factories are happening. We call that also as a connected buildings. So when we talk about buildings, we have to see how comfortable we keep our workers so that they do the efficient work. Just like our college, are we providing all the facilities to the students? Yes. Do we provide the seating facilities? We provide the laboratory facilities. Similarly, when we speak about IoT, what are the things that has to be notified? Okay, very important thing when you take the workplace safe is you have to include the fire alarm, temperature. We have to deploy all the sensors, including the motion sensors, the sensors which are tied to the video cameras, and the motion detection sensors, which is very useful nowadays to turn off and on the light for energy saving purpose. Okay, all put together is nothing but the smart connected building. Okay, so we call it as a HVAC system, HVAC. Okay, what is this HVAC system? Is nothing but H stands for ET, V stands for ventilation, A stands for air condition. Okay, and the complete building which is embedded with this HVAC system is all the temperature sensors. People, what they are trying to do is they are trying to control a complete sensor over one device. We call it as HVAC system, HVAC. Okay, so another interesting thing that we speak about the smart building is how cheaper we try to make by embedding these sensors in the building. Okay, I'll give you one example. What they have spoken in the textbook. They are talking about how efficient the space is being utilized in the building. Okay, see, some people, it depends. Okay, each floor, some workers will be working in a different departments. How efficiently the workspace is being done. Some people come out with a lot of complaints that they don't have enough workspace to sit or actually to work. So how completely IoT enabled system supports this efficiency. Simple people, when they are using Wi-Fi, will come to know that how many people are working in each floors. Based on that, they will try to divide the departments and make sure that all the floors are efficiently used. So this is one of the techniques that they are using, so that all this, what you call, the materials being embedded in the each floors are easily accessed by all the persons. Okay. Next comes the building automation system. This is very important. Convergence of building technology or a building automation system. What we are trying to do is we are trying to converge all the technologies into an internet, what do you call, the IoT enabled building. Okay. For example, we have so many devices being enabled in the building. For example, telephone. There will be connected with a PBX device. Next, we have a cameras which is being connected to coax cable. Similarly, building management using a low voltage, or what do you call? Okay, how the complete building is being managed by IoT. So how it is being done is we are trying to have a different layers of internet connected building over the connected buildings. Okay, how it does is the topmost layer will come from the bottom layers. Okay, so what are we doing is we try to enable all the sensors, for example, lighting, HVAC, Wi-Fi access point in the lower layer. The next layer comes all the drivers which actually connect these sensors. Okay, then comes the actual sensors, okay, which has been embedded. What is our actual sensors, people? The actuator which is connected with the sensors. So now all three are connected. Next forms our network infrastructure, which is connecting all these sensors. And the next layer is our building management. Okay, last one is our application, through which we are going to access all these IoT sensors. So this forms our building technologies, okay, where we are trying to build them, everything, put them in a single framework. We call it as a framework of a building technologies, putting everything. See, in simple, how to make this smart connected building more efficient is by connecting through a single network. What happens is, say suppose your building is connected over a single network, internet network, and sensors are also connected with that network, and your computers also connected with it, or your servers is also connected. What happens if there is any network glitches? It will affect all the other connections which has been connected over the network. To avoid those glitches, what they are trying to do is these sensors, which is completely controlling the smart building, is connected to only one network. They are not going to share any network. So any problem happens with workers with their laptops or desktops and all, there is nowhere connection between the sensors. This is going to work by itself. Okay, so this is one of the what you call the intelligence that they have started using in the smart connected buildings to avoid the glitches happening over the sensors, so that you will have a continuous information being provided by all the sensors through the network. Okay, and the next important topic is digital ceiling. Okay, next one is digital ceiling. Nowadays, most of the companies have this digital ceiling. Okay, what is this digital ceiling? Last time we have seen in the arrears paper this question. Explain LED digital ceiling light with the occupancy sensors. So what is happening here is, on the ceiling we will have our digital sensors, LED sensors. How it operates is based on the motions. If the persons are there in the room, the lights turns on and off by itself based on the movement of the people. Now, what they have done is they have also enabled with a Wi-Fi connection with the people who are there inside that room. So, as soon as the person enters in, the Wi-Fi will get connected, and it will get detected that someone is inside the rooms, and the lights gets turned on by itself. And someone leaves the room, it turns off by itself. It is all about the LED ceiling. Okay, so it is happening in each room. So person, based on the movement of the Wi-Fi connections also, the lights turns on and off. Why? Because certain times the motion sensors may not work because of some temperature issues. So to overcome that, this LED ceiling played very major roles in most of the IT companies now in order to have the energy saving consumptions. Okay, so this is all about digital ceiling and how this HAVAC systems and the digital ceiling played a major role by using the Wi-Fi connections. So if they ask you about the digital ceiling, you can just write about one example of the lighting. Okay, LED lighting sensors. Next comes the smart creatures. Okay, now apart from connected roadways, connected transportation, connected buildings, we also can embed the IoT on the smart creatures. This is actually very interesting, students. When we see, I take two examples. Okay, how we can try to enable these IoT devices on the creators. Okay, so here I'm taking two examples from the textbook. One is connected cow. Just like your connected transportation, we have a connected cow. So what are we trying to do is we are trying to embed the sensor on the cow. So how this sensors helps the cow in the companies like we have many Dutch companies where mainly they depend on the cow for their business purpose. Okay, how they monitor the health aspects of cow. So already I have discussed in the class about this. So I'll just re-repeat in a simple way. So what is happening is over the cow on the ears, they try to enable one sensor. Okay, those sensor will monitor the how the cow eat per day. Okay, say suppose if the cow doesn't eat properly that day, the data will be transmitted to the owner saying that this cow may be sick. Okay, and also in detecting whether the cow is pregnant or not based on their activities of the cow, the sensors are enabled. So this is widely used in most of the Dutch companies outside countries. Okay, where the health aspects of the cows are detected, located, where the cows are, and it is very useful for the farmers to analyze the data wirelessly. Okay, hope it is very clear for you about the connected cow. Just like our connected transportation, building and connected factories, we have a connected cow. Okay, next, placement of sensors on roaches. Okay, roaches are nothing but the cockroaches, people. So what are they trying to do is they will embed a small chip on the cockroach. So what it does is this cockroaches, where are they being widely used? They are used in the earthquake to find out whether the survivors are still there under the buildings which has been collapsed. I already told you how actually it works. Okay, just a small revision how it works. So each sensors which is been embedded on the roaches, how they do is, so when the roaches are traveling, they try to send the roaches inside the buildings where humans cannot move to find any people still alive. So what they do is there is a small electric pulse over the sensors which we can have a control over the movement of roaches. Got it, people? So when you want to move towards the right, you can just trick this electric pulse which will make the roach to move either right or left or straight or back. Okay, and using the camera which is embedded on the sensors, we can detect any persons are there on the buries where people are still alive. The roaches will identify and the people go and actually save them. So the microphones which is also embedded on the roaches will help us to do all these activities. So this is the IoT smart creatures, and the first chapter is done in your module 1. The last very important thing is convergence of IT and OT, which I just want to speak about the convergence of IT and OT, and then we will speak about the IoT network architecture. Let's speak about the convergence of IT and OT. Okay, what is information technology? Information technology means connecting the objects with the internet, where the flow of data happens over the technology. We call it as information technology. I'm speaking in terms of IoT. Okay, what is information technology? We are trying to connect the object, okay, where we are trying to exchange the data over the technology. Then what is OT? Same thing, we are trying to control the devices, okay, where we are not trying to exchange any data, but we are trying to control. So what is this IoT is doing is, it is trying to converge the IT and OT, so that IoT plays a major role in many of the connected factories or connected roadways anywhere. Okay, so let's see the comparison of this IT and OT over the small era, which they have asked once in the exam. So this topic. So let's compare what is this OT and IT. I repeat, operational technology is OT, IT is the information technology. Information means data flow between the technology. OT, operational technology, which is mainly on the device. Now, the main concentration is over the data. Okay, then how do we prioritize over the OT technology is based on the availability of the devices, then we have the integrity over the devices, then we have the security. When it comes to IT, what are the priorities we talk is about the security, integrity and availability. I'll give you an examples of what types of data being used in OT and IT. Okay, types of data in OT are nothing but supervisory data, how the machines are working, how many people are working, like that. When it comes to IT, it's all about video, voice, how the transactions of the data is happening in bulk. Okay, then when we speak about security over the OT is how do we access, have control over the access of device. But over the IT technology, how the data are authenticated over the network. Okay, and then when it comes to failures, it is all about any devices getting failed. What is the impact that it provides on the business? Okay, whereas in IT, the impact is really on the workarounds or the data being leaked or what is happening to the data. That is about the safety. Okay, network upgradation. So maintenance usually happens over the device in OT. How do we do the maintenance in IT people? Like upgrading our Windows, all such things. Okay, the last topic in this chapter is the IoT challenges. Okay, very important thing about IoT challenges is since lot of devices are upcoming, each persons are using thousands of devices. When you see in huge, each connected roadways or connected factories, they will have lots of devices. So the first challenge that they face is all about scalability. Okay, how actually these devices are all connected and how they are maintaining it. First one is the challenge that they face is scalability. Second one is security. When you are connecting all these devices, how do you provide the security when the lot of things and the people are connected? Okay, second issue that they challenge. Okay, the third one is privacy. As we know, there are a lot of sensors being connected. Okay, how is that privacy over the data exchange is happening over the network? Third challenge is privacy. The fourth one is how these data are being accumulated and analyzed. So we call that as a big data and data analytics. The last one, the challenge that they face is interoperability. Okay, what is interoperability? Anything which is operating between the two things, we call it as interoperability. As we know, IoT is nothing but connection of all the objects with the people over the network. So it's happening between two things. Okay, between the sensors or actuators, or between the objects and the people. So how is this interoperability maintained? So this is all about IoT challenges. Next topic is IoT network architecture. So the next possible questions in your module 1 will be these questions. So whatever I'm going to take in today's class will be the B question or a C question from either first one or the second question. Okay, so every time they tend to ask is a different network architecture. So I just want to explain you the basic things that they asked you in this module 2, and we'll try to cover major topics over this second chapter. Okay, so let's begin. IoT network architecture. We'll just take a small examples that is being given over the textbook. I just want to tell you people which I have already told in the classes, but let me repeat it again. Okay, so when we take anything, when we talk about the architecture, it's all about the planning. Okay, for example, we want to do we have to construct a house. So when we are constructing a house, the basic important thing that we have to do is planning. Okay, those planning includes like electrical, plumbing, heating, and security all put together forms a planning in your building a new house. Similarly, when you build an IoT architecture, okay, we have to embed certain things that everything has to be pre-planned before you try to implement in any of the places. For example, connected roadways or connected transports or connected buildings, or you're trying to connect it over anything, you have to have a basic architectural plan. So basic principles that they look into it is first the scalability. How many sensors that you're using, okay, how it is being embedded. Next, how are you going to manage those sensors? Okay, next, very important thing is how these, when you are embedding these sensors in any of the buildings, how those buildings technologies will support our IoT. Okay, and then what happens if anything goes wrong? Do we have an alternate solution? All comes put together is our IoT network architecture. So when we are designing, we have to consider all these things. So let's begin by looking into major challenges that the network architecture starts. Okay, for example, first thing that they face is how the new network architecture supports the drivers of IoT. First challenge. Second challenge is how the new architecture and the old architecture will embed easily. Okay, and there are different challenges that I will speak again in the next classes. Okay, let's see. This before going to comparing the IoT architecture, I just want to tell you people what are the different IoT architecture drivers which is there. Which is not there in the syllabus, which is very important for you to know. So that will help you people to learn the IoT network architecture. So let's begin. So as I told you, architecture in IoT means that it's all about designing a network in simple. Okay, we are trying to design a network. Similarly, I'll give you an example how this IoT brings a challenges when you try to do any architectural design. Okay, for example, say suppose a person is being capable of building either a one floor or a two floor or a three floor house. Okay, suddenly you try to give him a contract where he has to construct a complete auditorium. Okay, will he be able to do it? Because he has only knowledge to construct a simple house. When such persons, we try to give a very big design or a very big product that he has to go into develop, is he able to do? That's the biggest challenge. Similar to that, our IT plays a major challenge when it comes to IoT enabled any architecture. Okay, because the scalability, the sensors, the actuators that you are trying to connect is just like a build. It's like a IT. We have an IT firm who actually build a house. Suddenly, when you try to make it IoT enabled, it's like he's going to try to build an auditorium. Okay, just like that. What are the different challenges that he's going to face? So, some of the challenges that they face is the first one, as displayed in the screen, the scalability. Okay, as I told you, when it comes to IoT enable, lot of sensors, actuators, objects, which will be connected over the people and the network. How are they trying to manage, and how these addressing issues are being done? So already in the future modules, we spoke about the IP version 4 and IP version 6, how we changed from IP version 4 to 6 because of the scalability of the sensors, and how I have to address the addressing issues, all those things. Okay, so the first very important challenge that they face when you try to develop any architecture is the scalability. Second comes the security. Okay, when you are trying to enable so many sensors over the network, how well the security is provided over the network, over the IoT endpoints over the network. So you have to be really careful by authenticating the devices so that the other people can't access all the sensors which has been enabled in the building. Second one is security challenge. Third one is devices and the network constrained, a lot of power consumption, CPU consumption, memory, link speed. So all these are the again the major challenges that they face. Okay, what is that is due to massive scale and a longer distance covered, how will you provide the memory capacity? Okay, how is the data rates of the data which is being exchanged? So that plays a major role. and how our IoT in over the network architecture supports it. Okay, I told you, by modifying the IP version 4 to 6, by providing the larger distance technology, how a very simple way IoT enables the wireless technology. So need not that the power consumption or memory problem, everything will be overcome when you have any constraint over a CPU or a memory purpose. Okay. The next massive challenge is when we connect lot of sensor over the object, obviously each sensor will emit tons and tons of data. So how do you going to manage those massive amount of data? So what will happen when a single device emits lots of data? Obviously over the network we see the bottleneck. Okay, and that will affect the storage of data over the cloud. So what are we trying to do is the challenges of IoT is by enabling them by using some edge technologies over the cloud, so that when huge amount of data being receiving over the cloud, how actually they maintain by using any big data analytics. Okay, they try to consume the data, store the data, okay, break the data and give the resultant data to the users. Okay, so how the massive data being what do you call maintained. Okay, the next very important challenge that they support is support for legacy device. People, I already told you, so there is a already working industry. Okay, suddenly you are trying to embed a IoT device. Your older device and the new device both should actually support their what you call the protocols. Okay, for example, the IP address. Okay, the endpoint connection, the modem which is being connected. Okay, the memory capacity of both the device, the older device and the new device. So these are the major challenges that they find. Okay, to support the legacy device and the present device. For example, there are certain sensors which works only on certain devices. It may not support working on the other devices. So IoT has to make all this architectural plan before they try to embed on any of the what do you call the building, connected roadways or transportation or anywhere it is. Okay, the last challenge is need for data to be analyzed with the real-time applications. Okay, how the huge process of data are being processed. Okay, for example, we can have the Hadoop, okay, or any big data analytics, how they actually use the real-time data streaming. Okay, how they embed with the software, and how do you get the resultant of the data, and how the final data is being reached to the end users. Okay, so these are the certain constraints that you have to keep in mind when you try to develop any architecture. Okay, I repeat, the first very important is scalability. Okay, I spoke about the scalability is connecting lots of devices. Secondly, I spoke about the security. How do you provide security? Okay, cyber attacks. Okay, how the data, very important in security is, they have a different steps, right? When you try to access the data, first, how to identify the data, how to authenticate the data, how to encrypt the data, okay, how to store that encrypted data, and how to provide the connectivity at the different network level. All these things plays a major role in security. Okay, next comes the constrained devices. Okay, I already spoke with you. There are lots and lots of devices which may be cheaper or which may be very costly. How actually they get connected over the legacy system. Okay, next we spoke about lot of data. Okay, how the data are received, okay, accessed, okay, and how they are delivered to the end users, and how they supports the legacy device support. Okay, all put together. So this they have asked many times in the exams, like what are the different IoT architectural drivers or the challenges. So if they ask you, you have to write all the 6 topics that you have to write. Okay, the next important thing is we have different architecture. The 2 main architecture in our IoT is first one is one M2M architecture. The other one is IoT World Forum, that is IoTWF. So the second expected question that you can expect is any one of the architectural design that you can expect, architecture, or it can be IoT World Forum, which I'm going to discuss in next few minutes. And we will end the session with this architectural designs. Okay, and whatever the left out, I'll do it in the next class with a brief introduction of module 2. Okay, between what are the different types of sensors, actuators, how they are connected, all those things in the next class I will just explain in a simple way. This is very important for you people, so I will just concentrate more on these two topics. Okay, comparing IoT architecture. Okay, there are different standards available over years when it comes to IoT networks. So one is one M2M, the other one is IoT World Forum, that is IoT WF. Okay, let's see. This is very important, student. This topic is really important. Either one of a question will surely come. So let's concentrate on this question. Okay, so let's see the first architecture, which is most widely used architecture in any IoT forms. Okay, please see the layers. Okay, it's very easy. Don't look into the diagram and get panic. It is so very easy. Can you see on the left hand side part is our application layer. Okay, so application means that what are the different applications that IoT we are using. Okay, one is automotive application, second one is home applications, the other one is energy applications. We are not going to use all the applications, simple applications. You can see a vertical column on the left hand side. Next, what are we trying to do is we are trying to embed this on our service layer. Okay, so what are the service layer does is they include all the common services that they provide. For example, how the communication happens between the technology, what are the protocols that they are going to use over this applications, and what type of networks that you are going to use, and what type of device and the hardware that it is going to use to communicate. This forms our service layer. Can you see? The horizontal ones are our service layer, the vertical ones are our application. We embedded both. Now that is being imposed on our network. Can you see on the right hand side? Okay, on the right hand side, where this application and the service layer are embedded over the network, and how the people are being they're trying to access over the network. Okay, using different APIs, they communicate over the sensors and they're trying to use it. So this is one of the common IoT architecture that they use. Okay, very basic important thing is they are only concentrating on 3 layers, which is your application layer, service layer, and the network layer. Okay, main focus on the service layer and application layer, and over the network they give it and we try to use them. Okay. Okay, the main goal of one mission to mission standardization architecture is this is very easy to embed in any field or any devices over any application servers. Okay, so that is the main goal, the first goal, and the greatest challenges that they find is the heterogeneity of devices, software, and the access method. I already told you these are the major challenges that the IoT will face. Okay, one is the how the software embed, when you embed how it supports the legacy software and the new software that you're trying to support the IoT devices. Okay, the main the platform that they support over the one M2M is to develop the standards that allows the interoperability. I told you interoperability is how exchange of information is happening between two things. So these are the two challenges that one M2M architecture has it. Okay, and I told you only 3 layers we are trying to concentrate. One is application layer, network layer, and the service layer, network layer, service layer. Okay, so you can see what's happening in the application layer, which I already showed in the diagram, where all the application protocols are being included. Okay, what's happening in the service layer? It includes what are all the devices that you're going to include, the protocols, what are the services that you're going to provide over the device and the hardware. Everything are shown in the service layer. Okay. Then what is this network layer? How these endpoints are connected over these IoT devices using the service and the application layer. How the network is happening, how the links are happening between the devices and the end users. So very simple architecture. Okay, they mainly concentrate on application layer, service layer, and the network layer. So I think this one architecture is very simple now, and it is easy. The next important topic over the next architecture is IoT World Forum, IoT-WF, standardized architecture. There we only concentrate on three layers. Okay, one is application, service, and network. But you see, in IoT World Forum, we are trying to concentrate on all the layers. There are different layers. Okay, in the diagram itself specifies in each layer what are we trying to do. Okay, in brief, I'll explain in the next 1 or 2 minutes, and we'll wind up the session with this architecture. So please listen, because in this two architecture, one architecture for sure it will come. Okay, so please concentrate on this. So please look into the diagram, IoT reference model, okay, which is published by IoT World Forum. That's why it is called as IoT WF. Let's see from the bottommost part. Okay, that is how the physical devices, okay, that is things connected, how they are all connected. That forms the last layer, the first layer. Okay, for example, camera, motion sensors, all those things are embedded. Okay, the physical devices. Okay, next comes the connectivity. How this communication will happen between the devices that you have connected over the network. Okay, so what are all the connectivity that you require? For example, router, switch. What is those things that is required to connect all your things, our IoT things? That forms the second layer. Okay, please see the third layer. Okay, how the data elements are analyzed and transformed. I told you very major role is whatever the data being emitted by the sensors, how they are accumulated, okay, how they are translated, okay, how they are being sent to the end users. Okay, that is the edge computing. Analysis of the data being collected, received, okay, transformed and giving it to the user. We call it as edge computing. Okay, then the fourth layer is our data accumulation. Whatever the data that is being transformed, received, okay, by the sensors are being stored. Where do we store? Cloud. Okay, basically in IoT when it started, cloud has played a major role. Okay, so the fourth space is the storage. What are the different types of storage mechanism that you use? Can you see the fifth layer of the architecture is data abstraction? That is, we try to access the data which is only required. Okay, because for example, you say there is a fire alarm happening. So what will the sensor do? Only at the present situation, due to some reason, the have raised the alarm. Okay, so when the fire has raised the alarm, we have to find out which is the place where the fire has been caught. Okay, so what it does is this data abstraction, what it does is it just removes all the extra data, that is the places where the fire has not happened. They have a method and they exactly point where actually the fire there is a fire in the building. Okay, so data abstraction, I'm just giving a small example. Okay, next, the sixth layer is our application layer. Okay, complete reporting, analysis, how the data has to be given to the end users. The complete analysis of the data will happen in the application layer. What type of application? Whether you want to show them in a form of alarm, or you want to show them in the form of graph, or you want to show them in the form of pie chart, you show them like that. Okay, so sixth one is the application. Last one is the seventh. Okay, that is collaboration on the process, which involves the people and the process, how it is happening. Okay, how it is connected. For example, the end data has to be received. Okay, how do you are going to share it to the end user, whether over the phone or through the laptop, through voices? How are you going to share? So this is how the different layers of IoT World Forum standardization architecture. So whatever I told you in each layer, what's happening, it's been explained here. And when this they developed this in 2014, led by Cisco. Actually, we have the advanced version here, but the textbook was been written 3 years back, so it is only showing 2014 model, but right now we have 2019 model published by the architecture is very simple. Okay, even a layman can understand what's happening in the IoT architecture. Okay. Okay. Okay, using this reference model, what are all the things that we can do is even a smaller problems can be resolved. Okay, different vendors can easily access it. The interfaces are usually a very user friendly, and the security model is enforced so that every point there's a security enabled. Okay, starting from layer 1 to layer 7. Okay, now whatever I have explained, they have explained in this. We have explained in the slides what is happening in each layer. But whatever I have told is more than enough. Okay, here you can see just in single line. We'll just finish. This layer is usually all about what are all the things that you are going to connect. Okay, and which is going to generate the data. Okay, layer 2 is a connectivity layer. Okay, so I already showed you what are the communication and the processing unit that you're going to use. All these things are specified in layer 2. Layer 2, connectivity. Can you see how the devices are connected? Switching, routing, translation between the protocols. All these things are happening in the second layer. Okay, the third layer, edge computing. I already told you there are different forms of computing, fog computing, edge computing, how the data are received, transformed, decoded, okay, stored, and how they are being transferred. So using edge computing or fog computing. Okay, so can you see here what is happening, the different function? How do you evaluate the data? How do you filter the data? Okay, finally, how do you provide the alert messages in the end? Okay, how the data are received, how they are doing. So that's what's happening in this diagram. Okay, the next one, all the other 4 layers from 4 to 7. Okay, what are all that? The data accumulation, data abstraction, application, and the collaboration on the process. So these are the 4 layers. What are all there happening? I already told you the different functions of it. Okay. So you can see in the layer 4, data accumulation happen. Okay, layer 5, data abstraction happen. Layer 6, okay, how the applications interprets the data. Okay, that's the final report. I told you, no, whether you provide them in the form of voice or give them in the alert message or pie chart, bar chart, it is left for the applications that you have selected. Okay, next last one is the collaboration. Okay, the communication of information happens, complete information. Okay, so additional IoT reference model, actually this is not at all required for you, just keep it all. Okay, so this is all about the IoT architecture. The last one small topic is there. I'll just finish this in the next class so that the continuation of the module 2 with the sensors and actuators, which I may require half an hour to 45 minutes to complete, give you the brief idea about the rest of the topics. So please, any doubts, students, you can ask. I you would have got a brief idea